Welcome, brethren, to our newly launched YouTube channel, created in order for the Hertfordshire 2030 Festival team to keep in touch with you, the members of our province, as we come together to make a difference. At our provincial meeting in September, not only did our provincial Grand Master officially launch the 2030 festival, he gave me, Brian Handley, the privilege of being appointed as your provincial Grand Charity Steward. And I'm delighted to welcome you to this, my very first charity chit chat. Those of you who are old friends, I am sure are used to my unconventional approach to any task that I am given. And I hope for those of you who don't yet know me will at least appreciate that whilst I have a task ahead I intend to achieve, it will be with an element of laughter and fellowship. To this end, I hope that most of you saw the short Thunderbirds video announcing our various launch events which we held around the various centres during the month of October. It is very much the hope of myself and all the charity team that this light-hearted and upbeat example will show our intent that the forthcoming festival will be a mixture of fun, friendship and unity. The events we held enabled us to visit various centres. It was wonderful to be able to go around the province, and I was delighted with the amount of questions that were asked of the team. One of these that cropped up several times was, what is festival? And indeed, if people join just after a festival is finished, they might not necessarily know, and it could take a few years before we mention it again. Incidentally, if anybody was unable to make the events, but would like to see what was said, you will find the Watford launch event uploaded on this channel. You will have to forgive the camera work, as Alfred Hitchcock, I clearly am not. With respect to the festival, for those of you who this is not your first rodeo, please bear with me. For those who are not aware of what festival means, this was the initiative originally created by Grand Lodge to give provinces the privilege of being able to honour those obligations every Mason makes when they are placed in the northeast corner during that very first step in Freemasonry. Of our 48 provinces, only 44 are part of this system, and at any one time we will always have 4 provinces entered into festival. This was originally so that during what was considered an average Masonic journey, every Mason would get a chance to support each of the 4 main charities by replenishing our Masonic coffers. Of course, towards the end of the last time Hertfordshire was in the festival, all our charities went under the umbrella of the Masonic Charitable Foundation. This has enabled us as an organisation to reach out to a wider range of good causes. Festivals last for approximately 5 years and they run on an 11-year cycle, ensuring that as Freemasons we can hold fast those values we all pledged. It would seem that as Masons, to enter festival should be like second nature to us. However, of course, I am not unaware at this particular time life is not as easy as it has sometimes been in the past. I know we are asking a lot of each other and of ourselves to make this commitment. Times are hard for everyone, but it is exactly at times like this, if we digging as deep as we can, yet keeping in mind whatever we do should not be detrimental to ourselves, if we can give in order to assist those at the lowest ebb, be it of health or poverty, we can truly know ourselves as Freemasons. Bearing all this in mind, the target has been set at a realistic level of £2.25 million. That equates individually to us all trying to raise £600 to become a steward over the next 5 years. It works out at £120 a year, £10 a month, £2.30 a week, or 33p a day. As someone who is still working, I came to the realisation that I can spend close to £10 each day for my lunch. I have to admit I was quite shocked. So often I've got into the habit of going into the shop, ordering the food, tapping the card. As we become a cashless society, it's easy not to realise what something is costing. The majority of the time, my lunch will give me between 30 pence or 70 pence change if I was to hand over a £10 note. As part of my new regime in the new year, I'm going to make the effort to make and take my lunch. But the reason for that, I will save for my January chit chat. I also want to remind you all to remember, just give what you can. Or indeed, as my next chit chat will talk about, if you haven't got it, try to raise it. Or, as I alluded to, save it to give it. At the end of this video, and which you will see quite a lot throughout the whole festival campaign, including the banner behind me, there is a QR code. If you don't like QR codes, we have pamphlets, we have a paper version, or indeed we can email you how to sign up to this wonderful cause. Trust me, we have every avenue available to help relieve you of your money. It is also a good thing to remember, brethren, by being in festival, we can truly come together as a team. I'm always happy to speak to you, so if you have any questions or you would like me to come along and talk to your lodge or chapter, please just get in touch. There are also our festival charity centre stewards who are there to help with advice or encouragement. I realise they're a little bit incognito at the moment, but we will be sending out their names and details to you all very shortly. My role also includes being in touch with the many good causes and local charities which we as a province, as lodges and as Masons support. Last November, I was given the honour of becoming the Royal Arch Provincial Charity Steward, enabling the joint executives and charity teams to come together under the Building Together initiative. And the Grand Superintendent is particularly keen that the Royal Arch support the festival while still looking after the local charities that are close to us all. Nothing brings home the importance of festival as this wish. For as a province, we will see more money come back into our province over the next 10 years than we will actually raise during the festival period. That is because it's not just us as a province, it's Freemasonry in general pulling together. The latest impact report has just come out and it shows the amount of money that has been donated to charities in Hertfordshire. It is indeed a great sight to see, and I would also say, as well as that, I was asked to endorse a £15,000 grant from the MCF that's gone to Tracks Autism, a very worthy charity in Stevenage. Modern world where human contact is becoming more and more discouraged, with AI robots answering the phones for many companies, and it is incredible that even the AI robots ask us to press buttons for the several options required, to be put on hold and to listen to endless requests to go online, even though you want to say to them, I don't want to go online, that's why I made a telephone call. And eventually you end up speaking to a human being who then asks you all the security questions that the AI robot asked you, only to then be told that you've got through to the wrong department. In fact, even my own doctors have a 13-minute pre-recorded message advising you that you need to go to their online triage, and then they hang up. It makes you wonder why they don't do it in just 2 minutes. Supermarkets are training us to self-serve, as are banks. Indeed, recently, I discovered it's now possible to deposit cash in the bank machine. I was actually given a lesson by that bank employee who is found lurking around the foyer, the one with the iPad. And they took me to the machine so that I could put the money into the actual thing myself. You have to obviously insert your card, tap your number in, the flap lifts up, you shove your notes in, the machine will count them. If it doesn't like them, it brings them back out. If it's okay, you shove it back in and it all is done. Turns out you can do that at the supermarket. Funnily enough, I was there with my daughter and I decided that, oh, actually, I'll have a go. I've got cash, I'm going to pay cash. And so when the machine actually requested the money, I just shoved the lot in. I didn't know that you had to do it one at a time. What happened was it was something out of one of these comedy films. The machine decided to chuck the money out in several spurts. My daughter was trying to grab them and I just stood there. But it beginning to make me realise that we are losing human interaction. And that is possibly why What some might call a buzzword, something that is fast becoming a major crisis, is mental health. Mental health is something the Masonic Charitable Foundation has actually become acutely aware of, particularly in young people. They have trained counsellors to help some of the most vulnerable members of society fighting an illness that is so often hidden. And ironically, each series of counselling sessions are approximately £600, roughly the same amount as our individual basic festival donation. It seems food for thought that by pledging that very entry-level amount, we could actually be saving a young person's life. That thought is, of course, particularly poignant this time of year when we are in a season which wishes goodwill to all mankind. So, brethren, as it is that time of year, let me wish you a Merry Christmas and a very happy and peaceful New Year.